Color is important. Color is so important, in fact, that we've devoted a good percentage of the time in these segments to discussing it. We've discussed white balance and color temperature, additive and subtractive color spaces, RGB, YUV, CMYK. Color, in theory, is a very deep and interesting topic. In this segment, however, we're going to bring all of that theory together to one pragmatic point and show you how to get color right by calibrating your gear correctly for video and print. This is TechKnow. Let's start here with calibrating an NTSC video production monitor for television and DVD production in the United States. A production monitor is a special and expensive beast that uses the same fundamental technology that a CRT television uses at home. While a true production monitor is a nice thing to have both while shooting and back in the edit bay, using a less expensive consumer television, or more commonly nowadays an LCD monitor, is better than nothing at all. And in any situation, you're going to want to perform a simple calibration on whatever you use anyhow. We're looking here at our Sony production monitor. To start with, we've thrown up some bars on the monitor from our source, which would be a camera in the field or the preview output from your software in your edit bay during post. We've all seen these bars before. The technical name is SMPTE Engineering Guideline 1-1990, but SMPTE color bars is close enough for our purposes. The first quick test that I want to show you here is how to get the brightness right. There are 3 black to gray bars down here in the lower right hand section. They're known as the plugge, which is short for picture lineup and generation equipment. If you can see all 3 of these bars, then the brightness is too bright. If they all merge into one, it's too dark. What you want to do is set the brightness so that only the right-hand bar is distinct and visible. The other quick test that I want to show you here uses these strips of blue, magenta, cyan, and white. If we use a blue filter on the monitor, these bars will appear to blend together if the phase and chroma controls on the monitor are properly calibrated. Some monitors actually have a blue button which will turn the monitor gray in the case of this one. Or you can use a special blue colored gel or blue colored glasses such as these. But not just any blue color will do. You need a special blue color to do the calibration correctly. When you're done tweaking the phase and chroma controls, your output will look something like this. While this kind of calibrating doesn't rise to the level of broadcast engineering standards, and it's not the same as using a vector scope on the SMPTE bars, this easy eyeball calibration works on any monitor, expensive or cheap, whether in the field or in your edit bay, and it's well worth performing. A more precise method of monitoring your source is with vector scope and waveform monitors. The ones we're looking at here are computer-based digital monitors that are part of Serious Magic's DV Rack software, which you can run on a laptop in the field to objectively assess the accuracy of your output. Whether you're eyeballing your image quality on a calibrated production monitor or using vector scope and waveform monitors, paying attention to color before you start shooting makes a difference. Computer monitors also need to be calibrated in order to truly display colors accurately. While calibrating your computer monitor's brightness, contrast, and gamma settings is relatively easy, calibrating the color for print is anything but. When we configured our video monitor, we were looking at our real output in real time. But when we configure our computer monitor for printing, we're not looking at the real output, which is going to be ink and paper. So no matter what we do, we're only simulating the proper output on our monitor. This is very hard to do. A good beginning, however, is to calibrate your monitor using a little device such as this. This is a ColorVision Spider, which starts at about $80. Basically, you just place this little optical sensor on your monitor, and then the software runs through a series of tests and diagnostics that automatically adjust your monitor as you go. Keep in mind that what this does is make sure that your monitor is displaying a particular digital color as accurately as possible, both for print and video. The conversion from accurate colors on your monitor to accurate colors on the printed page is the other half of this process, and this is not entirely straightforward. What you see on your monitor in the RGB color space is not the same as what you get out of your printer in a 4-color CMYK printing process, even when working with CMYK images like our Juice Drops graphics. Photoshop can manage your color based on monitor and printer profiles. This changes how the colors are displayed as determined by our calibration software here. Again, what we're trying to do is estimate what the colors will look like on ink and paper. So this is an inherently inexact simulation. Here's how to perform a soft proof of an image you're editing in Photoshop. From the View menu, select Proof Setup, Custom, and select the profile of your printer, which you may need to download and install from the manufacturer. Even using one of the default CMYK settings will give you some idea of what you're up against here. Ultimately, even if your monitor is calibrated precisely and you have an exact ICC color profile for your printer, the final output on the printed page will not be precisely and exactly the same. Working with the CMYK color space and soft proofing are important steps to take, but there's still no substitute for printed proofs. And that's why, even in this 21st century, we still get hard proofs back from the printer before we run off 250,000 copies of Digital Juice magazine. Unfortunately, there's no substitute for a little experience in this area, and even some experience with a particular printer and print shop. Sometimes the exact color just doesn't matter all that much. In other situations, such as with corporate logos, identity, branding, or school colors, for example, even amateurs will notice when you don't get the colors mostly right. Being aware of color issues and at least paying a little bit of attention to color calibration will always pay off in higher quality productions in the end. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on TechKnow.